China's economic rise has been nothing short of remarkable. From the towering skyscrapers of Shanghai to the bustling streets of Beijing, the transformation is evident everywhere you look. The country has gone from a poor, developing nation to a global superpower in just a few decades. This transformation is not just about numbers, it's about the lives of over 1 billion people who have seen their living standards improve dramatically. This rapid ascent has been fueled by China's aggressive economic policies, including its pursuit of a massive trade surplus. The country's focus on manufacturing and exporting goods has turned it into the world's factory. In 2024, China achieved a record $1 trillion trade surplus, sending shockwaves through the global economy. This milestone is not just a financial figure, it represents a significant shift in global economic power. This unprecedented surplus is a testament to China's economic might, but it also raises serious concerns about the country's intentions and the potential consequences for the rest of the world. Analysts are now questioning what this means for global trade dynamics. This surplus is not merely a number, it represents a tremendous accumulation of wealth and power. With such financial clout, China has the ability to influence global markets in ways that were previously unimaginable. With it comes the ability to influence global markets, dictate terms to trading partners, and potentially even destabilize economies. The ripple effects of China's economic decisions are felt far and wide, affecting everything from stock prices to international trade agreements. This has led many analysts and policymakers to ask a crucial question. Is China weaponizing its trade surplus? The idea that a country could use its economic power as a tool for political leverage is not new, but the scale at which China could potentially do this is unprecedented. The implications of a $1 trillion surplus in the hands of a single nation are far-reaching, impacting everything from global supply chains to the value of currencies. The interconnected nature of today's global economy means that any significant shift in one country can have cascading effects worldwide. For countries like India and the United States, which already face significant trade deficits with China, the situation is particularly worrisome. These nations must now grapple with the economic and political ramifications of China's growing surplus. This essay will delve into the complexities of China's trade surplus, examining its origins, its potential uses as an economic weapon, and the threats it poses to India, the US, and the world. We will explore how this surplus was built, the strategies China might employ to maintain or even expand it, and the global responses that could mitigate its impact. Understanding the roots of China's economic policies requires a look back at the reforms initiated in the late 20th century. These reforms opened up the country to foreign investment and technology, setting the stage for the economic boom that followed. Today, China is not just a manufacturing giant, but also a leader in technology and innovation. Companies like Huawei and Alibaba are at the forefront of global tech, further solidifying China's economic dominance. The international community is now faced with the challenge of addressing this imbalance. Diplomatic efforts and trade negotiations are ongoing, but the path forward is fraught with complexities and uncertainties. Beyond the economic implications, there are also social and environmental concerns. The rapid industrialization that has fueled China's surplus has come at a cost, including environmental degradation and social inequality. As we move forward, the world must find a way to balance economic growth with sustainability and equity. The story of China's trade surplus is not just about numbers. It's about the future of global economic stability and the well-being of people around the world. Stay with us as we explore these critical issues in depth, shedding light on the trillion reasons for concern and the potential paths to a more balanced and equitable global economy. To understand the implications of China's trade surplus, it's important to first understand what a trade surplus is. A trade surplus is a fundamental economic concept that plays a crucial role in shaping a nation's economic health and its position in the global market. Simply put, a trade surplus occurs when a country exports more goods and services than it imports. This means that the value of the goods and services a country sells to other nations exceeds the value of the goods and services it buys from them. This means that more money is flowing into the country than out. The inflow of money can strengthen the national currency, increase foreign exchange reserves, and provide the government with more financial resources to invest in infrastructure, education, and other critical areas. A trade surplus can be beneficial for a country's economy, as it can lead to job creation and economic growth. When a country exports more, its industries expand, leading to more employment opportunities and higher wages for workers. This, in turn, can boost domestic consumption and further stimulate economic growth. However, a large and persistent trade surplus, like China's, can create imbalances in the global economy. These imbalances can lead to trade tensions and conflicts with other countries, as they may feel that the surplus country is not playing fair in the global market. China's trade surplus has been growing steadily for decades. Since the late 20th century, China has transformed itself from a largely agrarian economy into a global manufacturing powerhouse, exporting a wide range of products from electronics to textiles. This is due in part to China's low labor costs, which have made its exports very competitive in global markets. The availability of a large, relatively low-cost labor force has allowed Chinese manufacturers to produce goods at lower prices than many of their international competitors. Additionally, China has maintained a weak currency, the yuan, which has made its exports even cheaper for buyers in other countries. By keeping the yuan undervalued, China has been able to make its products more attractive to foreign buyers, further boosting its trade surplus. While these policies have benefited China's economy, they have also led to accusations of unfair trade practices. Critics argue that by keeping its currency artificially low and providing subsidies to its industries, China is gaining an unfair advantage in the global market. The sheer scale of China's surplus is what makes it so significant. With a trade surplus that often exceeds hundreds of billions of dollars annually, China wields considerable influence over global trade dynamics. A $1 trillion surplus gives China immense leverage in international trade. This financial clout allows China to negotiate trade deals from a position of strength, often securing favorable terms that further enhance its economic position. It allows the country to build up massive foreign currency reserves, primarily in US dollars, which can then be used to invest in foreign assets, secure strategic resources, or influence the policies of other nations. These reserves provide China with a financial buffer against economic shocks and give it the ability to project economic power globally. The potential for China to weaponize its trade surplus is a growing concern for many countries. This concern is not unfounded, as China's economic strategies have far-reaching implications that extend beyond mere trade balances. This weaponization can take many forms, from imposing tariffs and quotas on imports, which can disrupt global supply chains and affect the economies of trading partners. Tariffs can make foreign goods more expensive, thereby protecting domestic industries but also leading to trade wars that can escalate tensions. Another method is manipulating its currency to gain an unfair advantage. By devaluing the yuan, China can make its exports cheaper and more competitive on the global market, while making imports more expensive. This currency manipulation can lead to significant trade imbalances and economic instability in other countries. China could also use its economic clout to pressure countries to comply with its political demands. This can be seen in how China leverages its market access to influence foreign policies, often requiring countries to align with its political stance in exchange for economic benefits. Conversely, China can punish those that challenge its interests by restricting trade, imposing sanctions, or cutting off diplomatic ties. This form of economic coercion can have severe repercussions for the targeted countries, affecting their economies and political stability. One example of this is China's rare earth metals industry. Rare earth metals are essential for the production of many high-tech products, and China's dominance in this sector gives it significant leverage over other countries. These metals are crucial for the production of many high-tech products, including smartphones, electric vehicles, and military equipment. The dependency on these materials makes other countries vulnerable to supply disruptions. China controls a significant portion of the world's rare earth reserves, which allows it to influence global supply and prices. This control can be used as a strategic tool to gain political and economic advantages. In the past, China has restricted exports of these metals to achieve political goals, demonstrating its willingness to use economic tools for strategic purposes. Such actions can lead to global supply shortages and drive up prices, affecting industries worldwide. Furthermore, China could leverage its position as a major creditor to countries around the world. Many nations owe significant debts to China, and this financial leverage can be used to exert influence over their economic and political decisions. By threatening to call in debts or sell off assets, China could exert significant economic pressure on vulnerable nations. This could lead to financial crises, forcing countries to comply with China's demands to avoid economic collapse. This kind of economic coercion could have serious consequences, potentially destabilizing entire regions and undermining global security. The ripple effects of such actions can lead to increased geopolitical tensions, economic instability, and even conflict, highlighting the profound impact of the weaponization of trade. India, with its burgeoning economy and aspirations for global leadership, finds itself particularly vulnerable to the implications of China's trade dominance. The two Asian giants share a complex relationship, marked by both cooperation and competition. However, when it comes to trade, the balance tilts heavily in China's favor. India's trade deficit with China has ballooned in recent years, reaching alarming levels. This imbalance is largely due to India's reliance on Chinese imports, particularly in sectors like electronics, machinery, and pharmaceuticals. This dependence on Chinese goods has several negative consequences for India. Firstly, it contributes to a loss of jobs in the Indian manufacturing sector. Secondly, it makes India vulnerable to supply chain disruptions, as witnessed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Thirdly, it gives China considerable leverage over India in economic and geopolitical matters.